Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome back to Rockman 2, Wily's Castle Level 3. Last time we naturally did levels 1 and 2, so we are going to continue on today. And the first thing you want to do is hang to the right, because if you do not have all 4 E-Tanks, this gives you an opportunity to pick one up if you use the crash shot. Now, is there any reason to not demonstrate it? Although, unfortunately, I mean, there's 2 walls, although thankfully it actually goes through both of them. I was about to say it only destroys one. Although I can't remember the last time I actually did that. So it does destroy both. Also, you actually want to hang to the left, which is something I totally should have done. Being all thrown off here today, but thankfully using item on, we can get back up there. Is there anything else that we want to refill? Yeah, okay, wood shot, we could probably do that. So otherwise, it's just metal. We don't need too much more of the items. So we're pretty good in that regard. There's also a shrimp guy from Bubble Man's stage, but not too big of a deal. Also, hey, look, it is like the mortal enemy of like every Mega Man player, and that is Spikes. Also, there's this gigantic guy, but he's not really much of an issue. Is you really have to try to be hit by him, because even if he comes up, you jump so high underwater that he can't hit you. It's kind of funny. But this pretty much set the stage for like almost every Mega Man game after this to have that one part where you fall and dodge the spikes. But luckily, not too difficult. In Mega Man 1, even if you were flashing and you like after taking damage from an enemy, and you touched spikes, you would still die. Although thankfully, in Mega Man 2 and later, flashing is not results in instant death if you touch spikes. Also, I am just watching these guys all day long. Actually, I think I lied. I think I said that we weren't going to use any more Quick Boomerang, but that was a total lie, because I totally forgot about Bootleg Gutsman coming on here. I'm not sure. It's like I don't really know what inspired this boss. Who on the design team said, you know what, we need to make a Gutsman guy that's gigantic and is actually a tank. It's like, I guess I mean, Gutsman really sorry, Dr. Wily I guess really likes Gutsman. Because, I mean, Gutsman, of course, one of the main robot masters in Mega Man 1, now in tank form in Mega Man 2, and also comes back again in Mega Man 7, when Dr. Wily steals Gutsman from the Robot Museum after beating the first 4 bosses, and you kind of fight a tank version of him again in Mega Man 7. So that's kind of weird. I guess he just really likes him. So what do we want to use with this? Like, I remember as a kid, these things were like lifesavers. It's like, oh yes, I can finally refill my weapons. But now it's like, weapons, who needs those? We don't need Quick Boomerang at all. Weapon 3 we're not going to use like ever again. Weapon 1 we're going to use a little bit. I don't know, I guess I'm not using enough weapons. I totally could have used more of the, blown up more of those crash bomb walls, but I guess it doesn't really matter. This level is kind of tricky, as you'll see. There are actually floors that you can go through, but I guess you can't go to the bottom. I could swear you could. I think there's some areas where you can, but not all of them. Oh yeah, it's because you can't, none of those will actually go through. These are the ones that you fall through. Although I'm actually going to let that guy go off the edge. There he goes. So yeah, the gimmick with this level is that there are floors that are not solid. And the trick to figuring out which floors are not solid is to use a bubble lead, which actually don't think we ever demonstrated. Because it rides along the ground and it will naturally go through any floors which do not actually exist. We can, however, sometimes cheat the system and use item number 1 to go up through that. And there we go, although I did want to demonstrate... Wow, am I wrong? I could swear it maxed out at 9. So to all the people who in the comments of the last video said that wasn't true, I apologize. I actually totally forgot that it went higher than that. My bad. So I totally should have gone for that one in Wily's level, level 2, because it would have counted. But oh well. It's not like we're really in any kind of, live shortage anyway. And it's not like I'm going for the world record of lives. There's probably, like, a way you could go through the levels that you could pick up all of the lives. But then you could just, like, grind on enemies all day and I guess go up. So what is the max then? That's the question. I'm actually not sure what the max is. I could swear that there is a Mega Man game then that maxes out at 9 lives. And I thought it was this one, but I must be getting 2 Mega Man games mixed up. I am, however, 100% confident As you can see, you can't walk right across that. And I would go for it, but we don't actually need it. I am confident, though, that you max out at 4 E-Tanks in this game. Although, again, that was changed in Mega Man 3 when it went from being dots to being an actual number. Here, though, is a perfect example of a case where if you pause the game and are not holding up when you unpause it, you will fall to your death. So you definitely do not want to kind of pause while on that ladder, or if you do, you want to 100% remember to press up again afterwards. That first room, definitely a non-issue, because there is actually no ceiling. Even though you would think that there should be a ceiling above you, you can totally just jump from the highest part of the rail to the left. That, however, does not apply to this room, which definitely does have a ceiling, and you will want to have the metal blade out so that you can shoot downwards at this enemy which is coming up at you while you wait for the platform to come into position. And now, if you want to do like super speedrun tactic, you could just take damage from that guy at the bottom there and do this. But that we're not speedrunning the game, so you totally don't actually have to do that. Also, another thing, I talked, I think in a previous part, about some tricks that you can do with the pause menu. When you pause and unpause, it kind of gives Mega Man a couple milliseconds of floating time in the air. Where normally, if we dropped off this ledge, we would not be able to hold left and land on that purple block. But if in midair, we pause and then unpause, you might have noticed it gave you just that little bit of floating time, which then gets you onto this block. And then if you're speedrunning the game, instead of waiting for the platform, you can totally just use item 2 to do that. And that is the last time you will ever see item 2 in this Let's Play. Just for fun. Also, hey, we're introduced with like a billion of these guys who just don't die like ever. It's pretty fantastic. And you can totally jump over them now, but I don't usually, even though they still take a million hits. We're going to be introduced to a... Also, this one right here is kind of cheap because it doesn't come on screen until you're underneath this ceiling. And then once you're underneath the ceiling, you can't actually jump over any of the shots that he shoots, so it's kind of cheap. We're up to another machine. Can we go under you? Never mind. No, no. And then he respawns. Shoot me with a bullet because it takes off way less health than the machine, thank you. I kind of wanted to preserve as much health as possible because this is definitely one of the most notorious bosses, again, in 8-bit Mega Man history. There are a lot of things in this game that are the most notorious in kind of, maybe not even just 8-bit, but like Mega Man history in general. And that is because the only weapon that this boss dies against is Crash Shot. Now, I don't want to be cheap, but okay, this is totally just for the sake of explaining it to you guys. Again, another pause menu trick, just like with the floating, after you unpause the game, Mega Man has a couple of seconds of invincibility. So these guys are all going to shoot at me at the same time, but if you continuously pause the game, you will actually be invincible and will not be able to be damaged by their shots because they move so quickly. This is very familiar to the kind of Yellow Devil tactic in the first Mega Man game, but that was with the select pause, which was taken out in this game. Regardless, though, as I was saying, these guys can only be killed by Crash Man's attack, or Clash Man, I guess. I should call him Clash Man because we're playing Rockman 2. Also, there are doors in this room which are only breakable with Clash Man's attack, which means that you need to be super, super, super conservative with it, because if you run out, there is no way to refill it without dying. And that's no fun. So you really, really, really need to be conservative. That's a good tactic right there, because that will allow you... Actually, I'm not going to be cheap. Watch that! Yeah! I don't need to be cheap to beat this room. Because that will allow you to kill one of them and to break the wall at the same time. That time did not go so well. And then with that, we can shoot that guy. You also cannot pause while one of Crash Man's attack... while one of the Crash Bombs is on screen. So if you want to be cheap, make sure that you're trying to do it when one of those is not around. Okay, there we go. We should have enough to finish this off, and if I do it right, we should be left with, I believe, one extra. Also, because I'm totally afraid. I'm not even gonna lie. I was gonna say we're gonna be cheap, but I kind of botched it. So, because this would be catastrophic if I died at this point, we're cheaping out. I feel bad, although at the same time I don't really feel bad, because this boss is just so bad. Also, I would go down there. I would have tried to shoot him and then get it over with, but this one you actually need to wait for it to blow up, despite the fact that I'm standing right in front of him. So yeah, that's a way to kind of cheat that boss. Otherwise, I of course had the energy tanks, but yeah, I'm just using things that are built into the game. That's not even like it's a cheat code or something, so I don't even feel bad. And with that, 4 levels of Wily's castle down, and as you can see from the map, this is the final Wily level. But it is that one where we go through all of the things all over again, and thus I believe it deserves its own video. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Please don't knock me too much for being cheap. I swear it was for the sake of just showing you guys that it's possible. That's totally why I did it. And next time, the rematch against all 8 Robot Masters with all of their weaknesses this time. So I hope you're looking forward to that, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. So thanks for watching, and see you later.